Hi, I'm John DeCompos from Terrible Games, and we're just going to be diving into some of the mechanical aspects of our newest release, Black Mold, the co-op survival horror escape, where your turn lasts as long as you can hold your breath. So, the first thing we're going to cover is your prisoner vitality tracks, because picking out new characters anytime you're playing a game is super duper fun. So let's see what our cast of characters looks like. We have Black the Witch, Gold the Thief, Gray the Murderer, Silver the Arsonist, White the Smuggler, and Wood the Gambler. Also sized in these jumbo cards are some conversion sheets for different costs. These are all of our crafted items, which you can see here. And then if you flip it over, it gives you a quick overview of what each of the items does. But we'll be setting these aside for just a moment. Now, what you'll notice about our 6 prisoners is that each of them has a varying number of spaces. So each of them has a base amount of 16, 4 on each side. And then there are white spaces. Now these white spaces are called the death spaces. And these are very important because depending on what kind of damage gets put onto these white spaces will determine basically one of 2 outcomes. One, you will die. We'll use Silver as an example because Silver is a really old lady. When Silver gets consumed by the black mold or is dealt enough malice damage to have her entire vitality track filled, you flip over Silver's card to reveal that Silver is just deceased. However, in the case of a character like Gray, the Murderer, he has 4 white spaces. Now, if the majority of these are covered by Spore, you'll see we have our Spore tokens here that fit right into the spaces. If the majority of these are covered by Spore, you will flip Gray over, and now Gray is a fungal thrall. Player-controlled fungal thralls are a menace, and their sole win condition is to just make sure no one escapes. But at the core of how these vitality tracks work, we'll just use Gray as an example. I like playing Gray because Gray is very strong, and at the beginning of the game, Gray is actually strong enough to defeat a looming fungal thrall without any bonuses, which is awesome. But Gray is also a homicidal maniac, so wit begins to get covered very quickly. So let me explain what that means. As you're moving throughout the game in Black Mold, you are going to take damage. Like inevitably, every single turn, you most likely are going to take at least 1 damage, if not more, depending on what kind of choices you make. So when you cover a blank space, nothing happens. However, when you cover up any of these spaces that have an insignia on them, you will take different penalties. So if you cover up Wit, which is the eyeball, you will add confusion cards to your decision deck. Now, before we go into exactly how decisions deck work, I'll just show you what a confusion card is. It is this blank card, basically. Additionally, Wit is what contributes to your base defense score and your ability to craft items. If you only have 2 or fewer Wit symbols showing, you can no longer craft. This is a big problem because you need items in order to get out. Now, so we're covering a Wit, we're putting a confusion card into our decision deck where, our ability to craft is being dwindled and our general defense score is now going down. Grit is this blood drop symbol. Now, when this gets concealed, a number of things happen. So when you're gonna search for items in Black Mold, you're gonna roll dice, and the number of dice you roll is 2 plus the number of visible grit symbols on your vitality track. In the case of Gray here, we have 1, 2 symbols showing. Now, if I was at full health or maybe just 2 damage, I would have 3. So we take our base of 2, which is notated by red, and then we would add dice equal to grit, which would be another 3. This is great. However, when grit is covered, you will remove a dice from this dice pool, now lowering your success rate in searching for items. Additionally, grit is the base stat to determine both your attack and defense. So anytime you're calculating attack or defense, the first thing you're gonna see is how much visible grit there is. And if you're calculating attack, we're gonna move on to our next symbol on the vitality track, which is the fit symbol. This is the heart. Now, your fit determines these things. Your attack value, so in the case of Gray, which is 3 damage, I still have an attack value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is monstrous. This is really good. However, when I cover up the fit, not only is my base attack score going down, I also am going to roll less dice when I attempt a heal in a safe room. So in Black Mold, there are different areas and you're able to do different things, but most notably in a room that has fire in it, when you go to heal during your turn, you will add dice to your roll equal to the number of fit symbols you had. So Gray here is really good at healing, really good at attacking, not super smart, and not great at crafting items. So each of the characters brings a little bit of something different to the escape and to the party. By comparison, we can take a look at White, who is excellent at crafting, but isn't particularly strong. Or we have Black, who is excellent at searching, but also has sort of a frail frame and may have trouble crafting items in late game. So that's the vitality tracks, and we'll see you for the next video. Thanks for stopping by.